Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You have once again entered the realms of Jazz's tinned food reviews. Today, we have an absolute powerhouse from the tinned food universe, and that is the Fray Bentos steak and kidney pie. Ooh, gorgeous! It's been a fair few years since I've had one of these bad boys. From what I remember, they were pretty delicious. But like I said, it's been many years, so that may have changed. I don't know if the recipe's changed. I don't know if my tastes have changed, whether I've grown out of them, but we'll soon see. I would just like to mention how satisfyingly shaped the tin is. Obviously, it's a bit of a marvel of tinned engineering. Quite a satisfying sort of UFO shape. What I'm going to do today, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm just going to take you through some of the small steps that you need to go through to whip up one of these legendary pies. So basically, just open it up, stick it in the oven. Hopefully we get a good rise on it. And then I'll give you a little review on how this bad boy tastes. Okie dokie. So like they say in any good British gangster film, let's open him up. Cool, really gives your thumb a bit of a workout, this one. Crikey. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you can see straight away we got some proper gourmet delicacies hidden away in this tin. Just look at that lovely bit of pastry there. I don't know if you can see that in that light. Sorry, the light is a bit poor. You can see a nice glisten there on top of that. Does seem to be a little bit of seepage where some of the juices have come through. Hopefully that won't affect the rise that we get on this beautiful pie. So let's pop this in the oven. It's going to take half an hour. Come on then, Mr. Bentos. Time for you to go in the oven. Cool. Slid right in there. All right, ladies and gents, it's in. I'll give an update every couple of minutes to see how the rise is getting on. I must apologise for the state of the glass of my oven. I'm sure to clean that very soon. Okay, ladies and gents, I'd say it's been about 5 minutes. As you might be able to see, there was a little bit of a risage coming along on the edges of the pie there. Okay, see you again in a sec. Okay, we're just over 10 minutes in now. And as you can see, we're getting a lovely little rise on that pie. Cool, I'm quite excited for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Almost 20 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen. You can see quite a big difference there. It looks like it's rising beautifully. Okay, ladies and gents, just over 20 minutes, and as you can see, we've got a nice dome going on there. Got a lovely rise on that pie. Very happy with that. Okay, the next update will be when it's time to take it out of the oven. Lovely. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. So it's been half an hour. Look at that. What a lovely rise on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Come closer, young ice parch. So as promising as it looked just now, ladies and gentlemen, it has sunk a little bit. I don't know if that's normal. The colour on my camera is not really doing it justice. It's got a bit more colour to it than that. It's a little bit darker. It's looking a bit anemic there from what I can see. I'll give it a little tap. A bit of a crisp. I was expecting to be a bit crispier than that. I don't know if maybe I've taken it out a little bit too soon. It has been in there for half an hour. Yeah, a bit of a crisp on the outside. Crispy enough. Not quite as crispy as I was expecting, but it'll do. It'll do, ladies and gents. So I'm just going to let that one sit there for a little bit. Just let it cool down a little bit. No doubt it's as hot as molten lava. I don't want to burn myself. And then we'll give you an update on the flavours. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I've let it cool down a little bit. Didn't wait too long because I'm a very busy man and I've got to go and represent down at a tinned food convention in a little while. I best get this one down me. Since it's come out of the oven, pastry has sunk a fair bit. I was hoping that I was going to get a permanent rise out of this one and get a nice crisp on the top. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Maybe I needed to leave it in the oven a little bit longer, but it was in there for half an hour at the desired temperature. Without further ado, let's tuck in, shall we? Oh, so there's quite a lot of thin liquid in there. Wasn't expecting that. Tell you what, let's peel it back a little bit. See if we can see what's lying underneath. Okay, so it seems to be a lot of liquid. I can see a little bit of meat there. Not very big chunks. Kind of small flaky bits of meat. Can definitely smell the kidneys there. I don't know if you've ever spent any time on a urology ward. And there's kind of like this pungent kidney smell in the air. It smells a little bit like that. Okay, it is still quite hot. I can tell because of the steam coming off it. Oh. So the flavour's not too bad. It is a little bit watery though. I was hoping that the sauce was going to be a little bit thicker on this one. The underneath of the pie lid is a little bit slimy and quite sort of soft. Oh, it's got that nice kidney flavour to it. Definitely stands out a little bit. Let's just show you some of what lies beneath. Don't know if you can see that. There's probably a bit of kidney hanging down there. Could be a bit of the steak. But yeah, that's a little bit of the meat we got going on. Oh, that's burning my palm. Ah, delicious. Okay. Oh, cool. Still absolutely boiling hot. Definitely gonna have some blisters on my mouth tomorrow morning. Let's just dissect it a little bit more. I think that's a little bit of kidney meat there. Don't know if you can really see that well, but just in case you want to have a little gander. Definitely a little bit of a kidney. Got that sort of dusty texture. Okay, so some of the sauce is actually thicker on the other side. Like part of it, the first part that I opened was really quite thin and watery, but there's a bit more thickness to the other side of the pie. Perhaps there was a bit of separation going on as it was cooking, or maybe that had already happened as the pie was lying stagnant on the shop shelf. Oh, that reminds me actually. When I picked it up, the tin was a little bit dusty, like it had been sat there for quite a long time. Doesn't really surprise me, to be honest with you. Oh, actually, that bit's going to be very hot because that was the bit that I've just separated. Let's try the other side. Oh. It is tasty. It is nice. It's just such a contrast between the top of the pie, which is a bit crispy, and then the underneath of the pie, which feels particularly slimy. The sauce is kind of a bit gloopy, but generally it's a pretty tasty pie. And I am enjoying the sauce. Perhaps the grade of pastry could be a little bit higher. What more can you really ask for out of a tinned product? It's a pretty genius idea, to tell you the truth. The fact that you can get a pie in a tin, just spark it open and stick it in the oven, is pretty decent. I suppose I've massacred some of the pastry on this side actually. It's all gone soft because I've kind of mixed it in with the sauce. Perhaps I could have waited a little bit longer for it to cool down. But like I said, I've got to get down to that tin food convention. They need me down there. Not too much to go. I'm reasonably happy with the meat content in this pie. Not too stingy. Fair amount of kidney. Doesn't really surprise me that there's quite a healthy amount of kidney in here. If I'm not mistaken, kidney is generally a pretty cheap product compared to steak anyway. Okay, almost done. Anything with gravy in it is one of my favourite things to eat. I love gravy-based dishes, especially at this time of year, as it's starting to get colder. Cool. That last mouthful of pastry was absolutely delicious. Underneath the pastry, on top of my fork, was just the right amount mix of steak and kidney. A nice healthy helping there. The last bits there. As you can see, pretty decent amount of meat left over. Let's scrape that all up together. Get it down us. And let's drink some of that gravy. Probably should have wiped some of the dust off the side of the tin first, but too late for that. Don't want to waste any. Okay, ladies and gents, that's pretty much as my fork is going to pick up now. And as you might have been able to tell, I did thoroughly enjoy that actually. I suppose the quality isn't quite the same as a decent homemade pie that maybe your granny would make you. I know my granny made excellent pies. She made an absolutely wonderful pasty pie and an egg and bacon pie. Just unreal. I wish you could have tasted that one, ladies and gentlemen, because it would have absolutely blown your socks off. I was happy enough with the pastry. It was still quite crispy. There was enough meat content for me. Usually I'm a bit fussy about the meat content. Quite often if you buy pasty, steak bake or something, it's always disappointing when they scrimp on the meat content. That always frustrates me a little bit. So the meat content was there, I was happy with that. Part of the sauce was a little bit too watery, but then it kind of redeemed itself halfway through and I realised the other half of the pie, or maybe most of the pie, the sauce was a bit thicker. Just the right amount of salt, doesn't feel like it's too salty. I mean, I do freestyle these reviews and they're not scripted, and I'm not the most educated individual, as some of you might be able to tell. Sorry if they don't seem quite as in-depth as you'd like them to be. So I'm going to mark this one now, and I'm going to give this one a solid 8.5. I really enjoyed it. I did. I honestly really enjoyed this one. I thought it was rather tasty. Thank you very much for joining me, ladies and gents. If you made it all the way through, thank you very, very much for putting up with me. And that has been another episode of Jazz's Tinned Food Reviews. See you in the next instalment. Thank you.